the gap. And so what I'll do is I have this one next, and this is a diagram I did based on this one. And what I'll do is I'll put this one on screen first, and then I'll put mine on. But yeah, if you read through that to yourself, then that gives you an idea. This should be the clincher, right? I'm gonna read McKee.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Because.
Yeah, and this is old Ben, flipping messy as heck. I'm ashamed of my messy notes.
Does that mean that I'll evolve and write like you one day? Because this is where I'm at now. I have the colors down. I really try. I really do. Samsara, view of reality. I need to read this book because I have a lot to say about this. I've studied theologies for a very long time. I was quasi-Buddhist for 3 years.
That's me too. That's why I was a little bit annoyed by the socionics definition of TI. It's like, hang on, wait a minute. I've looked at philosophy here. Philosophers would laugh at your definition of TI.
Right, exactly. Right, well, I've read all of the neat text, that is to say, the authors.
Right, okay. So now I'm going to go to... did you read the left and right of that?
Yes, I did.
Right. So this is me expanding upon this and
for the story,
adding extra stuff.
Okay.
So, and then you've got stuff here about hindsight. I call it hindsight subtext. And so sometimes you can actually have it where so again, it's like in Empire Strikes Back. No, Luke, I am your father, and it pays. Oh, that's why Obi-Wan was uncomfortable in that scene when Luke asked him about his father.
Yes,
in the previous episode.
Because then you have that in Obi-Wan too, knowing what he knows. What is the truth? What is the truth, or what time of truth should he be telling Luke? Because he wasn't lying when he said that Anakin was a great and noble Jedi.
Yep. I mean, he definitely plays it. I mean, he played that scene well.
Yes.
Where he's hiding something in the way he played that.
Yes, I love... Now, Obi-Wan, one of my favorite characters, and I thought that he was even played well in the prequels. I liked all Obi-Wan iterations are good Obi-Wan. See, increased curiosity.
Oh yeah, the little things.
Point out the important things to me here, because
okay, so I've got things in red. So yeah, because it takes 6 minutes for the episode to upload for you, so we can go through this. So in red, this is
should I be downloading something?
No, not yet. You can only download it once it's fully uploaded.
Right.
Just like in socionics and in econ, there's a lot of ideas that fit together, but you actually used the Robert McKee term when you said inciting incidents. So incited incident, progressive complications, crisis, climax, and resolution. And so this is about the gap. Now, turning points is when the gap, usually you would have a gap at the end of Act 1, and it sends a story in another direction. And then you have the bit that you have a big gap at the end of Act 2, and going into Act 3, and the size of the gap determines how strong the turning point is. So you would have now the way Robert McKee does it. He showed some pages from Casablanca and how the interaction between Ilsa and Bogart was beats of dialogue, and those beats of action reaction were tiny gaps between line and reply, and how the scene was tiny little gaps of the scene escalating, and then a gap that turns a scene is of a certain value, and then it's bigger if it's the end of a sequence, even bigger if it's the end of an act, and then the biggest gap structurally ideally should be at the end of the movie. No, Luke, I am your father. Wicked big gap. And what we've got here, some of the effects of a turning point. So I've written here, a turning point is a gap which turns the value charge condition of a character's life. That's a quote from McKee. Not all gaps are large enough to become turning points, e.g. beats. So that's an action reaction thing that you get in a scene. Beats are not large enough. So it's just like if you have dialogue with somebody and someone says something that's surprising, and then you have a comebacks, those kind of things.
Right.
So it's about the degree. And so you can have, with turning points, the revelation and reaction and turning points. You've got value charge condition of a character's life. So again, you've got this interplay between structure and character, rather than, oh, I'm a double agent. No, I'm Agent View. I'm a triple agent. And then where it's over structured and over plotted, and the plot turns don't have much to do with the characters. And so some of the effects of turning points: surprise. Well, what's going on here? Increased curiosity. Well, what's the real situation going on? And then you get, and if you've set it up properly with setups and payoffs, you get that rush of hindsight. Oh, that's why.
All of the beats. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you spins off in a new direction. So you can see how, when you get into this is quite a bit of strategic intellect going on with a really good plot. And so you can get that, where the composer goes towards a little bit INTP stuff. If they have a really nice plot over a big novel, or how about,
again,
5 years, 110 episodes of Babylon 5, and he spent about 5 years working on the plot, the arc plot, and he was the first one to do an arc plot in the United States, J. Michael Straczynski.
Go on.
Deep Space Nine tried to copy him with all that Dominion War stuff that they had. There we go. So what I can do is we can wind up, folks, because I want to watch, unless you've got some questions about this.
No, because going through the script beforehand means that all of these, you can see we've already discussed all of the beats and the climax of them. So having it in the context of story now, great.
Yep. Right. Is, okay. So
closing the gap here for us.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say, very good. I'm going to say I give it 10. Amanda, I think you said you gave it 10 as you watched it, and then 8 in hindsight. Is that correct?
I'm back to 10 because of the Robert McKee.
You see,
really
how accommodating we are, both folks. We're both strategic accommodators. So I'm going to pause this, and then in a minute, well, after she's down, we will watch the first episode of Genesis of the Daleks, and then we'll review it. She is a huge Doctor Who fan, and she has not seen this before. So you will maybe live vicariously through Amanda's enjoyment of this fabulous episode. So, assuming you're a Doctor Who fan out there.
I am.
Okay.
I am. We'll discuss it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll sort of like address to the audience there, but yeah, everyone's a Doctor Who fan of the proper old Doctor Who. Well, that's a huge generalization. I don't know why I said it. I'm just rambling.
Sounding like an ENTP there. I think it's about time to stop the video.
Yes, I'm going to stop the video.